right now. Paul Hunter is set to help us understand how we got here. And Paul, let's begin by help us catch up on the last few hours.
Hey, and what a near unbelievable night, but believable enough given how things had unfolded throughout the earlier part of this week. Tonight, jaw-dropping political betrayal and then swearing and shouting and anger leading nearly to violence between Republican lawmakers. The end result is indeed Kevin McCarthy finally elected as Speaker of the House, but the path getting there, even tonight, caught McCarthy and everyone else utterly off guard. The expectation going into the 14th round of voting was that McCarthy had it in the bag. The hardline naysayers who'd been blocking his path seemed finally on side. But on the very last vote cast in the 14th round, Florida's Matt Gaetz, no fan of McCarthy, voted the other way. The place blew up. One Republican lawmaker had to physically restrain another from, it seemed, physically going after Matt Gaetz. McCarthy stormed up and down the aisles of the chamber. No one, it seemed, could believe what had happened. A vote to adjourn came, only to be stalled at the very last second when McCarthy, in yet more remarkable video from the floor, seemed to strike a last-second deal with Gaetz, at one point patting him on the back, and another round of voting followed. Past midnight, with Gaetz and the rest of the so-called never Kevins, the hardliners, apparently with concessions made by McCarthy, held back their votes in such a way to allow McCarthy to finally get past the finish line. He is now, Ian, elected Speaker of the House, but only after a remarkably complicated, embarrassing, and ugly journey to get there.
There are so many important questions. I know many are unanswerable tonight, but for example, what was it that changed Gaetz' mind? What was he offered, presumably, to finally vote for McCarthy? But beyond that, Paul, you know, despite the conclusion we have tonight, what does it tell us about what lies ahead?
Well, first off, everyone can take a breath, you know, after this week. And then it's back to business for all of them on Capitol Hill. But with a clearly wounded Republican Party and a severely weakened Speaker of the House. McCarthy and other Republicans will be, you know, certain to describe this as ending with a kind of unity and broad support. But the fact is, this has been a humiliating week for both McCarthy and the Republican Party. It moves forward on a divided basis, and with the risk that these hardliners, who've already won much of what they demanded, the risk that they can and may well continue to complicate McCarthy's path. It promises to be an extremely difficult time for Republicans on Capitol Hill, and even in victory for McCarthy. The week of bitter infighting has ended, Ian, but McCarthy and the party now face challenges that will continue to land on their laps from within.
Well, Paul, terrific to have you guide us through what has been a long night, as you said so aptly, both believable and unbelievable. Thank you.
You're welcome.